Dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today, also on behalf of the entire Renewable Carbon Initiative. I'm Svenja Dahl from Nova Institute, and today I'm here with Mr. Michael Karus, the founder of the Renewable Carbon Initiative. Hello.
Hi.
Michael is also founder and managing director of Nova Institute and holds a diploma from University of Cologne. I will also give a short introduction on Nova, what they do, or what we do. Nova provides research and science-based consultancy with a focus on the chemical and material industry, and Nova's aim is to prepare the chemical and material industry toward a smooth transition to renewable carbon. And my first question to Michael would be, you wrote a position paper of the idea of renewable carbon, which caused an enormously sensation in the entire chemical industry. So what makes carbon so important that you wanted to write a position paper on this topic?
Why is carbon so important? That's a very good question. In the energy sector, we hear very often about decarbonization, and this is a great concept for the energy world, to go to solar, wind, hydro, and hydrogen as a storage system or the energy carrier. But when we go to the chemical sector, chemical material sector, there is no way to avoid carbon, because most of them, especially the organic chemistry, all the polymer and plastics we know, all the fibers for textiles, for example, are based on carbon. So in the case of the chemical material industry, the question is not to avoid carbon. The question is, what are the right carbon sources? Because today our carbon is coming mainly from fossils, from crude oil, coal, natural gas. But in the future, we have to switch to other carbon sources. And these carbon sources could be bio-based, CO2-based, and recycling. And so this is a great message, is to make the chemical and material industry sustainable, part of the future. They have to find a way for the transition from fossil to renewable carbon.
Okay, thank you for this explanation. And is this already the full concept of renewable carbon, or does this go beyond something? So this would be interesting.
No, the main target is the Renewable Carbon Initiative have the main message to speed up the transition from fossil carbon to renewable carbon. And this is really a big job, because today 90% is coming from fossil carbon, so it's a long way to go. And it's also a different challenge for different sectors. But the important thing is, with renewable carbon, is really give a guideline where to go in the future. It's a guideline for investment. But the concept is leaves enough space to operate. Because if you have only a very few new sources on your mind, and you have a lot of criteria to have to fulfill, it's really hard to substitute the fossil system. So we need a lot of alternatives. We need these three carbon sources, bio, CO2, and recycling. We need a wide range of processes and application to really be able for this transition to renewable carbon. And it will take at least till 2050 to really fading out. But the important thing is today, that the first time in industrial history, we are now able, from technology speaking, able to decouple the chemical industry from fossil resources, from crude oil. And this was never possible before. But now we have the expertise, we have the technologies, we have the processes to realize all the nice products we have today in our world without any fossil carbon. This was never before since Industrial Revolution.
Okay, so I hear it in your voice that this was also the motivation to found this initiative. Is this right?
Yes, I'm highly motivated in this area, and the reason for the motivation is coming from the situation that the focus in policy, in climate discussion, is always on energy. And this very important sector of chemicals materials is almost forgotten. There is no real vision, there is no strategy. And so it was really necessary from our point of view to fill this gap, to to create a vision, to create a strategy, often the chemical sector is often seen more as a problem. It's many people think we don't need the chemical industry, but our whole life today, modern life, our living comfort is so strongly related to chemicals, plastics, and other materials from organic chemistry that there's not a question to avoid chemicals, it's a question to do it in the right way, to develop a vision that the chemical industry can be a part of the sustainable future of our planet. And in this context, it was my motivation to bring the question about the carbon source of the chemical and plastic industry back on the table of climate discussion and policy frameworks. That was a very strong motivation because we're working in this field since 20, 30 years. We observing this area very detailed since many years, and there was really a gap to fill in the awareness of the public and in the vision and strategies for this industry.
And what kind of sectors of the chemical and material industry does the initiative address?
Yeah, chemicals today are almost in all sectors. And the nice thing in the Renewable Carbon Initiative is that we have not only from startup SMEs and big international companies, we have also a wide range of applications. We have companies coming from the textile business. We have companies working with detergents, high performance polymers, chemistry from wood, produced from wood, chemicals made from CO2. And these CO2-based chemicals can be also ending up in a polyethylene bottle. So and we have companies in the pharmaceutical area, in the fragrance area. So it's such a wide range of industries. And every month we have additional 3-4 members, and they expanding the focus of the initiative. And we are very happy that so many different sectors are on board already.
And last but not least, you already told us a lot about your motivation and your goals, but what are the most important milestones in the next 3 years with regard to the initiative?
Yeah, we're doing at the moment a lot of parallel activities for different target groups. For example, next week we will publish a comic for the public to explain the renewable carbon concept and the importance of renewable carbon. We have other information for the industry, other for the political area. So there's a lot to do. I think the main thing is, or I will answer another way around. The initiative is very successful. It's more successful than we could even imagine before. Even I come from a very optimistic area in Germany, the Cologne area, but it's still, I'm very surprised about the success. And the reason for that is that I think the time was completely right. After we have found a lot of solutions in the energy sector, so the vision and the strategy is very clear in energy. It was clear that the emissions of the chemical material sector will become more visible. So when we decrease the emissions from the energy sector, then we see that agriculture and chemicals and plastics are the main emitter of CO2. And the image is today already not so well for the chemical industry. And if there will be in the future the main climate sinner, it will be very wrong for the image for the chemical industry. So there is a lot to do. And I think the timing was completely right. When we started the initiative in September 2020, there was so many industry already with similar concepts where they say, oh, it fits perfect in our strategy to join RCI. So I think this was the first step. So the time was completely right to start the initiative. And the main target is that we'll see in the future in the political frameworks, in the Green Deal, in circular economy, that the point of renewable carbon to switch to carbon will be one of the basic points in future strategies. Today, it's almost forgotten. And if we will be successful, we will see this concept everywhere in the political area, in industry. That means that companies asking for solutions with renewable carbon, that company offering solution with renewable carbon. We will develop a label, a renewable carbon label. The label is used, but it means that the concept really is spreading around, using in all different political areas, industrial areas, in the public. If we are able to bring this to worldwide awareness, then we are really successful. And that also means we need more supporters, more companies to join, more partners. But this is on a very good way. But this is finally the final question, whether we are successful or not, whether the concept will be visible everywhere in all discussions. That is our target.
Thank you very much, Michael, for sharing these goals and vision with us. And it seems that we are on the start to a very big journey. And yeah, thank you very much for this very nice and informative talk. And I would also like to thank our viewers out there for joining us today. And dear viewers, if you are now interested in our initiative, our goals, or our strategies, please note the web address in the final credits of this video. Yeah, thanks again to Michael, and I hope we can see each other next time. Bye-bye.